I love you. Welcome back to the Couch Potatoes. We got another riveting Bat-fantastic episode for you today here. I am the Green Traveler from Gorsh.
And I am the Faceless Leon. This is a podcast about movies and TV called Green Faces on the Couch. And we're back at it with the Batman playlist, as Greenie has said.
Bad at it.
That's right, bad at it. We're watching Batman Returns again.
Forever and ever.
Forever and ever. He returns forever. Batman Forever. It is technically a sequel to the previous of what we've watched. I've realized that it is more so than I ever thought it was during this watch. It definitely is supposed to be the same world, but it doesn't feel like it.
It really doesn't feel like it. Like, I don't... Yeah, there's certain things, like, I think Commissioner Gordon is actually the same as well as Alfred.
Commissioner Gordon is the same. Alfred's the same.
Pat Hingle, Michael Goff, respectively. Which, by the way, fun fact, Michael Goff, I didn't realize this. He's been in Doctor Who before.
Oh, really?
The reason...
It's been a while.
The reason I didn't know, though, was because he was in the Mostly Lost episode. I've read the synopsis on it. It's called The Celestial Toymaker. And I read the synopsis on it, but I didn't, remember Michael Goff having played the Celestial Toymaker. But in modern time, they just announced that Neil Patrick Harris is going to be in Doctor Who for one of the upcoming specials. That's who I'm thinking he's going to be, because a lot of the production stills show him with very similar toy making, like a toy maker's apron on, that kind of stuff. Yeah, that'll be really interesting. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. But that was a long...
Me too. Is that going to be in one of the specials coming up? Or is that going to be in the
next year.
Okay.
Yeah, they're doing one more special this year. And then they're doing 3 specials next year for the BBC. For the special this year is for the BBC Centenary. 100 years, BBC. Yip yip hooray. And then the 3 specials next year will be for Doctor Who's 60th year anniversary. That's it.
Okay.
It's wibbly wobbly, timey wimey,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then we'll get back to regular broadcasting Doctor Who after 5 years.
Woo! Yeah, well, they're hoping for 2023 apparently, but I don't know how. Or 2024.
Jeez.
Yeah. It's ridiculous, man. They make me wait for fucking ever.
I sure do. But we haven't been having to wait for Batman.
Nope.
Yeah, they've been dropping all sorts of shit. A friend of ours in between...
shit.
A friend of ours mentioned to me that they could just drop a Batman movie every 2 years. It could have no bearing on the previous Batman movie. It could be a shit movie, and people would still pay good money to see it, and it will make millions and billions of dollars. And she's right.
Right.
But...
I mean, it's true. Yeah.
At a certain point, I do think we would get tired.
Drop project.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, I'm already kind of tired of it. We're going to talk about a lot of burnout this coming month. I feel like we have a lot of TV talks and other stuff planned. But when we get to, I can't wait until we talk Obi-Wan. That's coming up later this week.
Yeah.
There's been some burnout for me on Star Wars, even though really? I'm not going to give my opinion of Obi-Wan up front in general. I'm just saying, of the franchise, it was kind of just I was like, all right, yeah, Obi-Wan, sure, I guess.
Sure. I don't know.
Burnout's being felt.
I guess I'll hold my opinion as well, but at front, I feel like maybe I'm doing a Jedi trick on Greenie right now. Nobody can see. It's I think we both liked it very much.
This is not the review you're talking about.
Yeah, back to Pac-Man Returns again. That's right.
Pac-Man Returns again. Yeah, before we talk the synopsis, I want to do a quick deep dive into the behind the scenes of Batman Forever, because there's been a lot of change. We've already mentioned that this is supposed to be in the same world, but it does not feel like it's in the same world, mainly because bye Tim Burton. Batman Returns was too dark. They lost some brand deals. McDonald's apparently dumped their Happy Meal toys, which were Batman Returns flavored, because it was too dark. It was too dark of a movie, I guess. It was like, no, the kids don't want this. So they went for, they opted for other directors. They were looking into who to replace Tim Burton, who stayed on as a producer. He did still help. Yeah, he still helped make the film, but apparently they looked into Sam Raimi and John McTiernan.
Oh my god,
which I think is hilarious. John McTiernan did Die Hard, so it's just like you think one film is too dark, and then your two options are crazy awesome action director or Sam Raimi, Evil Dead maker. All right, Disney or not Disney, but Warner Bros. I guess, you know. But no, they eventually settled for Joel Schumacher.
That makes sense.
Joel Schumacher. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Joel Schumacher, you know, they had a story written by these two people. What are their names again? Lee Batchelor and Janet Scott Batchelor, a couple screenwriting
twins.
couple. Yeah, the Bachelorettes. And Joel Schumacher decided, though, you know, I don't want this. I don't like the script. You know, there's some elements of the script that are good, but I'm going to get Akiva Goldsman to rewrite it. Now, I think I have mentioned before that Akiva Goldsman and I are like, when we connect, it's a decent connection. I Am Legend, not a bad film. I like that. Yeah. He wrote I, Robot. I kind of like I, Robot. That's not that bad. It has its moments, at least. There's a couple episodes of Lost, I believe. No, Fringe. He did Fringe. There's a couple episodes of Fringe that were good. Yeah. And then he also did the Batman films. Batman Forever and Batman and Robin.
So it sounds like he's good if Will Smith can be involved, is what you're saying.
Yeah. Other things that he has done are the Da Vinci Code franchise films. Oh boy!
Oh, you didn't like those?
His biggest.
What was wrong with those?
No. What was wrong with those, man? Weren't they good? Tom Hanks had long hair and regrets everything about those franchises. But his biggest, Akiva Goldsman's biggest mistake, in my opinion, was this little-known film called The Dark Tower.
Oh god!
Oh boy! Oh, yeah, so that's the thing with Akiva Goldsman. When we connect. You know, I can like some of his scripts, but when we don't meet, ooh, do I hate him a lot.
Well, secret
Dark Tower
review of Akiva Goldsman.
But the problem is the backstory I really wanted to get to was that the biggest change was that by Michael Keaton, because once Akiva Goldsman came on and rewrote the script, Michael Keaton didn't like the direction things were going. You know, he didn't like the franchise in general. When he came on board, it was supposed to be a Batman Year One prequel kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
You know, that's what Joel Schumacher had told him. Is like, yeah, we're not going to do a sequel. We're going to do a prequel. We're going to do Year One of Batman. And Michael Keaton was all on board. He liked that idea. But then Akiva Goldsman came in, rewrote it, and gave us the script that we have today, which features just a direct sequel with a crap ton of villains. And, you know, it was kind of returning to the 60s, the Adam West show, minus the heavy camp.
Mm-hmm.
Which is weird.
I mean, it's still there is pretty camp. Campy.
There is camp, but its tone isn't campy.
Yeah,
it's like it's trying not to be campy, and it's very weird.
That gothic Tim Burton tone, and which you know, I feel like Tim Burton can be like, if you could mix goth and camp together, that might be the jeans that Tim Burton wears.
But only he can deliver on that kind of beautiful stuff. But the thing is, there's a bunch with Michael Keaton leaving. Then you had a bunch of people just kind of like, well, now what's going to happen? And so they started to recast Michael Keaton, and this is where I told Faceless Leo before this that there would be a very terrible segue, and here it comes. The other options they had for Michael Keaton to before they settled on Val Kilmer were William Baldwin and Ethan Hawke.
Okay.
And Ethan Hawke recently starred in a film I watched called The Black Phone. And if you want to hear that review, we're going to do something very exciting. Faceless Leon and I are going to be offering a Patreon exclusive episode in July. Right. We haven't settled on a date just yet. But we're going to put up a exclusive episode of My Green Ketchup and Your Faceless Pitches.
That's right.
It's what we've been watching recently.
And that will be, right now we are going to have all our exclusive episodes that we hope to, continue to do this as much as we're available to, maybe like once a month or something like that. It'll be more casual and structured than our show, if you can believe that. And, it'll be for our sofa spuds and all the tiers above that. So, if you feel like you could support us and you want some extra content from us, we hope to provide that for you guys. And that's what we're going to try to do with these new, we haven't really decided what to call it yet, but it will be those segments that we do during our TV talks and new movie episodes, that it'll be those, but in a longer form.
Yeah, because we're in the summer months, and so that pretty much means there's a new movie release every single week.
Right.
And I've been hitting the theater like crazy. It's been a lot of fun, but there's too much green ketchup for another episode of ours. It's like when we do like a stay or go or a threesome, there's just too much green ketchup to dump on all one episode.
Right.
And so I'm going to dump it into an exclusive content. You get to pay for it. You get to pay to have me dump green ketchup all over you.
That's right.
Isn't that exciting?
Just like the red light district. And it'll be perfect for you potatoes. Because, nobody really caters to that taste. If you know what I mean. Potatoes, we have very specific tastes.
And at the same time, you've been watching a crap ton of television.
That's right. Yes, and they've been dumping a crap ton of television. We can't have enough episodes to cover the amount of television that they've dropped. So,
that's the compromise. Is next month is going to be a very heavy TV talks month because there's been a lot of stuff we're going to have to talk.
Yeah,
but a lot of your faceless pitches will be heard in the exclusive content alongside My Green Ketchups. We're just going to put them there. Put them in the same place. And have a little casual conversation. And if you wanna join us there in that nice little casual conversation, you can go down to patreon.com/greenandfaceless and check it out. It's for sofa spuds and above.
Yeah.
But at the same time, don't forget. Was it tater tots? Was that
our tater booster chair tater tots? $2 a month. You can vote on the potato pick, which we do once a month. And Real Couch Potatoes, they can recommend for $5 a month what we might watch for the potato pick. So, I don't know about you. I think that's enough business talk for these potatoes. Let's get back into the review.
Yeah, let's do Batman Forever. Did you want to go into the synopsis, or shall I?
I can do it. So, Val, he's Batman, as we've talked, and he is going after Tommy Lee Jones as Harvey Dent / Two-Face.
Right.
He is doing
because
so.
Why we couldn't get Billy D. Williams back? Who the fuck knows?
Yeah, which I don't. That would have been interesting for sure. Like
apparently he had signed on for a sequel to become Two-Face, but then they just didn't do that. They just did the Penguin next,
that's
and
super weird. It's just very a super upsetting. Weird decision, and I think that he would have done a great job. I mean, for what this movie is, I feel like Jim and Tommy, like as goofy as they were, they at least played off each other decently well. They seem to have fun.
But like there's still the background though where it's just like Tommy Lee Jones just hated Jim Carrey because Tommy went in with one type of energy. You know, he's just like this is the level of energy I'm gonna bring to Two-Face. And then as they continued to film, because they filmed most of this continuously and not but as they continued to film, Jim Carrey's energy was just so chaotically rising.
Yeah.
Yeah, that Tommy Lee Jones felt like he had to match it, and he had to like do something he's never had to do, which is like act harder.
Yeah.
And so he just I'm sorry, Tommy Lee Jones. I know a lot of people like Tommy Lee Jones. I have a very like one-sided opinion of the man. But he had to like go above and beyond craziness to be this character. And it's honestly, it's like one of the few Tommy Lee Jones performances that I actually mildly enjoy. Really? But I think for the wrong reasons.
Yeah, probably.
Like, I mean, Tommy Lee Jones, I can't stand him. He plays the exact same character in every single movie. He is law enforcement officer. That's his only fucking job. He's a Leo. Law enforcement officer.
Or political servant. Yeah.
Yeah, or political servant, which in a way is law
about
enforcement.
The same thing, yeah.
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 Yeah, and even here, he was a former district attorney, so like he's not pushing it too far.
That's true. He is still the former district attorney of Gotham, and that is part of the story told in a flashback. He was working on a Maroney case, which this is the first real mention of the actual crime families in this movie series. And they don't really do anything with it, except for that this Maroney goon tosses acid at Harvey Dent's face, thus creating Two-Face. It causes brain damage, and he goes insane, and it splits him down the middle, and he is ruled by duality, and the idea of extreme and true justice. And so when he goes to make a decision, he flips this coin that I like what they do better with the coin in The Dark Knight than in this.
Same. Yeah.
He flips this coin, and both sides have a face on. I don't know what kind of coin it is, but one side is clean and clear the way it's supposed to look. The other side's all scratched up. Mm. And it's usually a life or death situation. Not for him, but for other people.
Right. Yeah, it's very... it's another film that Tommy Lee Jones is in. What was it? No Country for Old Men?
Yeah.
When Shakira goes to that gas station at the end, he has the coin, he like flips it and turns it upside down. He's just like, call it. This is your life. Like, oh my god, that scene is so crazy.
That's just a total ripoff.
But anyways.
So, yeah,
that's all they're doing. They're just ripping off Two-Face. I see you, Coen brothers.
So, Batman fails to save him from that, and Two-Face blames him for it. So he is pretty much, trying to hunt Batman, usually by abducting people and waiting for him to come. So while he is there to do so, to stop him from abducting this bank security guard, he meets Nicole Kidman's character, Dr. Chase Meridian, who is a psychologist who is really into black rubber. Just really into it.
And poor Bruce Wayne, never able to have a single romantic interest stay along for 2 films.
No, that's not allowed. That is definitely not allowed. Especially when they were supposedly dead at the end of the film / not. I don't know. Right. I always felt like they could have brought Catwoman back, but maybe
easily
Michelle didn't want to come back. I don't. Is it Michelle Pfeiffer?
Nope.
I forget.
Yeah, it was Michelle Pfeiffer. And honestly, no offense, but I always forget Nicole Kidman was in this film.
100%. When it showed her name coming up in the credits, I was like, Nicole Kidman's in this? And I'm like, oh yeah, the love interest. So they do a lot of paralleling with Batman and Two-Face in this because, Batman is both Bruce Wayne and Batman. And yeah.
Spoilers!
So
does Val Kilmer play him too?
Yes, Val Kilmer plays both of them, believe it or not.
Oh my god.
Yes.
What an acting talent.
You say that, but I do think that he emulated what Michael did for the Batman side of the character pretty well.
Yes.
I do think so.
He did.
And I didn't
his Bruce
hate
Wayne
him as
is
Bruce
in and of itself. Yeah. It's its own thing. It's completely almost different. He's more business oriented.
Yeah.
He's very focused on Wayne Enterprises. Like it's not bad. I know I was making a joke, but at the same time, Kilmer is a pretty good Batman. It's just this whole movie's just forgettable.
Yeah, I agree. Like I feel like I never took. So it's kind of also those kind of subdued compared to the rest of the characters, though, and I think that's the problem is that it's a Batman movie, but Batman feels more like a background character because the villains are just so goddamn goofy.
Yeah, and there's so many of them.
Yeah.
Well, I guess there's not many.
Only
there's
two
just
of
two,
them.
but
there's only
time.
two, and the last movie only had two, and it worked okay. And I think
doesn't the last one have 3?
I guess if you consider Max Schreck a villain, but
sorry. I thought you were. I always thought you were talking about Batman and Robin, the last Batman film, not the previous one. I get you.
They paved our road recently, and now people just feel like it's a raceway. It was a chip and seal thing with a shit ton of potholes. And they widened it,
I'll be honest.
They paved it, and now they're just going on it.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I drove on it just last week, and I was just like, oh, this is so nice.
Yeah.
I was just like cruising.
It is really nice, but people go on it with their loud-ass vehicles. I mean, it's Sunday right now, so, they're like going out for their joy rides. There's this one guy in particular that goes 90 nearly every time, and he was doing that before it was paved, so I don't even know how fast he's going.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
No care for his car.
Yeah, so the other side of the story with Bruce Wayne is that he goes into Wayne Enterprises to check out the factory floor with all the scientists and projects and whatnot. It's like the R&D department or something. And we have Jim Carrey working for Wayne Enterprises, which I don't know that they've ever gone that angle in the comic books before. But Edward Nygma is, famously known as the Riddler in the DC world. And this story, we get to actually see his origin story for this movie world anyways.
It's wild.
It is pretty wild. I will say that. So, Edward Nygma is extremely neurotic in the first scene, and he is obsessed with Bruce Wayne and thinks that Bruce Wayne will be completely understanding of his wild and crazy project where he wants to make personal 3D TV. Like, he wants to beam TV signal into people's brains and manipulate their brains so that they live in the image. And, pretty cool idea, but he wants a yes or no from Bruce that instant. And Bruce is like, I'm sorry, there's too many questions. You're talking about brain control here. I need to know everything.
If you're beaming in, right? It's like if you're beaming into their brain, who knows what you can fucking do in there? Right, exactly. That was his concern, and at the same time, that's exactly what Edward Nygma was kind of wanting to do.
That is, and I don't know that it was necessarily exactly what he wanted when he was first thinking of the idea, but after his rejection from Bruce, he continued to work on his experiment. And I can't remember, this guy's in fucking everything. The guy who's like the overseer of the factory. He's in everything, but I can't remember what his name is. Okay, I found it. It's Ed
Begley Jr.
That's right. And he literally is in everything. So he is Edward's boss. He plays Fred Stickley. He's only in the movie for a little bit. And he does have a stick up his butt a little bit, but he also understands that
Stickley up his butt.
Ed probably should not go forward with this experiment. So the experiment is terminated. And in return, Nygma decides to tie him up and force him to be a part of the experiment and tries out his equipment on him and accidentally discovers that he can absorb his intelligence through the machine. And I'm like, yes. Man, I'm pretty sure this never happened in the comic books. This is a completely new story.
I don't. It's the most goofy thing ever.
Yeah, and I think after he starts absorbing people's intelligence in this movie, I actually like Jim Carrey's performance better. I do not like that first scene with him. He's just too out there, too obsessive. And I feel like, that abrasiveness is what he was going for, but it was just too much. And, Jim can do that. Jim can be too much. That is 100% true. There's roles where I think it really works, like The Mask. That I think that's a good movie, personally. I guess I haven't seen it in a while. Maybe it doesn't hold up, but I think it works in some of his movies. It was good when we were kids. Yeah, definitely it was good when we were kids. There's movies where it works well, but there's also movies where he's just a side character and he's pulling too much attention, I think. Mm-hmm. Sorry, Jim.
Like that one with that. What was that Magicians one? Do you remember that Magician one with Steve Carell and somebody else? Yeah. And
I don't remember Jim what it was called, torture. But I think that was actually Steve Buscemi that was playing opposite of Steve Carell.
So Steve Carell and Steve Buscemi. Oh my god! Pretty sure. That might be it. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he was blonde in the movie though. Steve
and Jim was he's this torture magician who puts nails and stuff into his hands and into his skull, and it's just he's a little too much in that film.
He literally drills a hole in his head, and after the trick is done, he is obviously brain damaged, and that's the funniest part. I feel like. Secret review of whatever that movie's called, it really wasn't that good.
No.
So Jim as the Riddler, once he decides to become the Riddler, which that's a pretty fun scene. He's going through this computer program that's tossing costumes onto his body, and they're all just fucking awful. And then he has this old carnival machine behind him that and it has the costume on it the whole time, so he eventually takes that and dyes his hair pink for some reason.
Yeah, I don't get it. I really don't understand, because it's just if they wanted that just to be a prop of this world of Gotham, then they could have at least established that instead of just putting it in the individual we know is going to be the Riddler's house. It's just why do you just have this? What the fuck is this thing?
If I really didn't mention...
But I do like his costume.
I do like his costume, okay. I think the pink hair was a bit much, but I think it fit with this weird punk thing that they were going for Gotham. There's this whole scene with Chris O'Donnell where he goes downtown Gotham and there's these gangs that are in neon blacklight paint. And the whole street is lit in blacklight because that's what the city.
Gotham. That's Gotham, To be fair, where we live does also have an area that's kind of similar to that, where there's a certain art structure and it's very crazily lit at all times.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But this seemed like it was 2 or 3 blocks.
This at the same time, this was a little overdoing it. Makes no sense. It's goddamn, it's funny though.
Eventually, the Riddler and Two-Face get together, and I can't remember if it's before or after that Two-Face comes and attacks the circus where Bruce is taking Dr. Meridian as a date, and attacks and kills all of Dick Grayson's family, the Flying Graysons. I don't know that it's necessarily traditionally Two-Face that happens to, but that is what happens.
A lot of stories it is.
Two-Face.
Yeah. There's different origins for each, but I think Two-Face is a consistent one. A lot of people, if you don't know, I'm pretty sure I've said it on the podcast at some point, Dick Grayson is my all-time favorite comic book superhero. I relate to many of the stories of his that I've read. Fucking love him.
Nice.
Also, he's handsome as fuck. Like, once you see his abs, you're dead. Like, you're like, hell yeah, I'm all in for this. Like, I can't remember. I don't want to say his name on the podcast, but there was a guy that I worked with that one time. He was like, I don't understand why you like Nightwing. And he's like, he was watching me, like, reading a Nightwing comic. And, like, I turned the page and it's a full splash of him, like, just wearing boxers, just, like, all of his abs on display. And then he was a very prominent gay man. And he was just like, oh, I understand now. It all makes sense. And I'm like, there you go, man. Now you get it.
Hilarious.
Yeah, so Chris O'Donnell being Dick Grayson, the first live action performance since Burt Ward, I believe.
Yeah, it is.
Amazing. I enjoy him as Dick Grayson. I think he was very fun, a little too old for the origin story they give him here, I think, but it works. They make it work.
Yeah, they make him, I feel like they're trying to be like he's an 18-year-old. Or maybe 17. Like, he could take care of himself if he really wanted to, but Bruce...
Yeah, it's like, why...
Bruce feels personally responsible for what happened, because... Mm-hmm. Two-Face was trying to get Batman. That's what he was trying to do.
Right.
So he offers to help Dick out, offers him a place to live in the mansion. And I do like the way that Dick was like, nah, I'm leaving. Fuck you, Bruce, and your money. And then Alfred is like, oh, I guess I'll throw this sandwich away then. And he's just like, oh, okay, I guess I'll stay for the day. It almost felt like Dread Pirate Roberts, you know, like, if you feed me today, I might stay, but who knows if I'll leave tomorrow.
And, like, Michael Gough gets more to do in this, too.
Yes.
And it's kind of nice to see his Alfred.
Yeah. And I think that I think that was a decision done to make it feel more solid in this series of movies, since he was, like, the one character that stayed, besides their do-nothing Jim Gordon.
Who they never show. Like,
never.
He's like always in like a long shot, or like if he's in a close up, it's very quick. Like,
I believe
they don't linger on him long.
I believe when Nigma does like the big showcase of the finished product, he's like the first one that goes test it, if I recall. That's pretty much the only thing I remember him in this movie for.
Damn it, Jim.
Yep. Pat Hingle, that's not your fault. That's the right.
No, it's not.
For sure.
You're cut out. Yeah.
So,
but I do. There were a lot of fun other options for Dick Grayson. I wanted to point out before Chris O'Donnell was signed on, before they had even before all the big changes happened, before like Michael Keaton left and everything, they had apparently cast Marlon Wayans as Dick Grayson.
I don't know if
I think that would have been the Wayans brothers.
Oh.
Yeah, I think that would have been hilarious. I think I might have enjoyed that.
Okay,
but apparently they also...
Yeah, he would have been pretty young at the time. That would have been really interesting. Yeah, he
and that's what you have to...
He's done a lot of
that's what you have to remember about all of
Netflix lately. I feel like the Wayans brothers kind of have... Their humor is going downhill for me. I'm sorry, guys. The last couple films... I watched this movie called Sextuplets or something like that. I only made it halfway through. Secret review of that movie. It is just awful, guys. Like, they try to do the Eddie Murphy thing, but with a set of fraternal siblings.
This might be incredibly rude or blasphemous to Wayans brothers fanatics, but like for me, it was the Scary Movie 2 days. That was their prime, and then after that, it went downhill. Like they didn't. Only like 2 of them, I think, were involved in Scary Movie. I don't remember if
I'm not sure either, but I love And Living Color.
I think there's 3 of them,
that
right?
show is great. I think that really was their biggest moment, was that TV show. And what an interesting movie that would have been if he played Robin and then Jim was the Riddler. That because he was on that show.
That would have been pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I would have enjoyed it. It would have been interesting at the very least.
Yeah.
But other options they had that I think a lot of these are hilarious to think about, but they had, again, remember, they're all young at this time. There was Leo DiCaprio.
Oh, yeah.
Matt Damon. Corey Haim. Corey Feldman. Mark Wahlberg. Ewan McGregor. Jude Law.
Oh, my God.
And also Christian Bale. Christian Bale was also considered.
I wonder if they would have let him be Batman if that would have happened. Probably not.
Dude, that would have been hilarious. No, yeah, probably not.
That is quite the fucking
I can't even imagine Chris O'Donnell
ended up with Chris O'Donnell, who only did this in Three Musketeers. Eventually, Chris O'Donnell discovers the Batcave through the Silver Closet. And through some pretty cool acrobatic stunts. I do like the stunts in this movie. I will give it that. Mm-hmm. And he makes it down there, and eventually, with almost no consent from Bruce, becomes Robin. It is basically all him and Alfred doing it together. Him being
also
Dick and Alfred.
I can't stand another aspect of this, too, is that his costume literally is his circus costume at first.
Yeah.
And it's just like, yeah, who the fuck is not going to be like, oh, that was a flying Grayson. I saw them last week.
Wow. Did you hear that their entire family died? All except one guy. Oh, that's him. Oh.
I think that... And Bruce Wayne took him in. It's the dumbest thing. I mean, they give him a costume update at the very end, which kind of covers for it. But at the same time, it's just like he went out at least once in that costume.
He did. Yes.
So there's a lot at risk there.
And he saves Bruce's life. And I think that is the basic reason why Bruce is like, all right, this kid's going to do it either way. He might as well. And also Alfred, prodding him and being like, hey, this guy needs some guidance. Yeah. He's going to go and kill himself otherwise. So all in all, I think we should probably move on to closing statements. How about you?
Yeah, I agree with you. I'll go first. I enjoy the hammy acting. It's the villains are just way too over the top, but it's funny, and I don't think they intended it to be funny, but it is funny. I think Jim Carrey intended it to be funny, but I meant the creator's vision. I don't think Joel Schumacher, Akiva Goldsman, I don't think they were meaning it to be as campy as it turned out to be. But then seeing how well that, I don't know if it did well or not, but I guess using that, they jumped in and made an even crazier, campier film that we'll talk about next week.
There's a graph. You took a graph of these 4 movies. It's very exponential in the craziness that goes on. Definitely the second so Batman Returns definitely is quite a bit crazier than Batman. But
of course,
this movie just brings it up, and then it's just fuck. They just stopped caring or something, or just throw everything at it. Throw Bane in there. Who gives a shit?
Oh yeah, they're gonna suck up your brain waves using television. I'm pretty sure that's been done before. Do it again.
Do it again. It hasn't been done with Batman.
Not with Batman, it ain't. Yeah, and all the performances for what they are, it's still enjoyable. Not good, but enjoyable. Yeah. It's not trash, but it's just it's on the fence. It's it's a decent film.
Place. It's oh, you haven't seen Batman Forever? You probably should go see that.
Right? Yeah. I mean, I feel like so that's the biggest flaw of it. Is I give it 2.5 stars, but it's the most forgettable of the four. Of all four of these films, this is the one that I think, when I think about it, I'm just like, oh, right, yeah, what was that one called? It was the one with Val Kilmer. It doesn't have the nipples yet, but it's
he
still
did have the nipples. He
weird.
did.
Did it have
he
the
did
nipples?
have the nipples. I don't think they're
God.
as prominent as the next suit, but he did have the nipples.
Okay.
I think even Robin
I didn't even
had
notice. So that was just a Joel Schumacher thing. Joel Schumacher just like walked in. He's like, giving Batman nipples.
And a navel. We need a navel too.
I do actually enjoy the costumes a bit in this one. They're a little more swishy and like flowy.
Yeah. They don't feel as
Batman's cowl in general is very prominent. Like it's very like strict, rigid, and like, you know, it's kind of not terribly intimidating, but it can be intimidating. But like, I like Two-Face's design. I think it was very decent. You know, they did a lot of thought to it. I think the Riddler has some good designs, but I kind of hate the latex skin suit kind of thing, but I like more of what the fortune teller machine thing was wearing. Yeah. Like, I don't know why he didn't just go with the coat. Like, it would have been so cool if we just get that. That's the thing. When it comes to the Riddlers, I just want the actual, like, the comic book Riddler. I want to see that for once on the screen. I don't want crazy.
I did like Jim's Kane work, though. I think he did a good job with that. And I feel like that it rings true to the character for the interpretations that I'm familiar with anyways.
Yeah, his zaniness was good. His witticisms were good. And he was just too crazy, like, you know, the Riddler's supposed to be this very intelligent but also crazy person. And I think Jim Carrey's Riddler was intelligent after he started stealing intelligence.
Yeah.
But like before then, he was just this crazy guy, with you know, some, you know, moderate level of intelligence, but still like not Batman level of intelligence.
Yeah, he was more like mechanically intelligent, and then when he started absorbing people's minds, he was more social intelligence, more witty, more manipulative. Like he gained those skills from it, and I feel like that was kind of a disservice to this classic character who already has all those things. Right.
Yeah, and I think my favorite Riddler interpretation is the Arkham games, where you have Neil Patrick Harris voices him, or at the very least, that was their model for his look in the first one. Mm-hmm. Like, that's, you know, I've always kind of think that Neil Patrick Harris would make a great Riddler. Won't see it, that's fine. But at the same time, you know, I do enjoy Jim Carrey's Riddler, but it's whatever. Robin's suit, I really enjoyed Robin's suit. I think once he gets his suit, his actual you know, crime fighting suit, that is not a circus costume. Yeah. Once you see Chris O'Donnell with the little what is it, the visor thing on and everything. Yeah. And I'm just like, all right, Chris, I'll follow you into battle. We'll do it.
I feel like this is the first time that we get that classic, like, arced superhero mask that they use in almost every superhero movie now. Mm-hmm. That for somebody who has a mask that style, especially in those DC shows, they all have one like that.
Oh, this film also does get another detriment in that we yet again see the Wayne parents die. So
yes, we do.
That is an issue.
I do like the psychological aspect with that, though. Is that like he's remembering repressed memories, and that Nicole, like, it kind of gives this like over-sexualized psychiatrist something to do.
Right. Well, see, okay, so that's the thing. The original script by the if you remember, by the Bachelorette screenwriters of ours.
Yeah.
The original script was Scarecrow as the villain. So I think she has to be like a remaining thing, because I feel like she must have, like, in the original script, she must have been like working with Stephen Crane or something. But
maybe.
Yeah.
And you know, at some point I was thinking during this movie, like, you know, this particular version of Gotham would work really well with Scarecrow. So it's kind of funny that I thought that.
Yeah.
So going into my closing statements, I give it a face. I still enjoyed watching it, But I think there was a lot of enjoying it for the wrong reasons. I don't think they intended it to be as goofy as it was. There, yeah, I feel like if we would have had, I just like what we've done later with this franchise, you know, the more serious aspect. I like serious Batman, and I know some people will disagree with me, but we'll see what I think when the next movie comes, when we get back to Batman and Robin.
Oh, man.
And I do want to say, I don't know how I've done this episode. I feel like my energy's been up, and that's cool. But I'm just so fucking tired. My brain feels like it is melted. This week, I know that we skipped an episode. That is because I had 4 shifts that were 8 a.m. to 1 a.m. That was what we were scheduled for. But some nights we got off at like 11:30. One night we didn't get off until 2:30.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. So theater guys, you know, and it was running a festival. It's something that doesn't happen all the time. It's going to happen next year though, and I'm supposed to work it again. So
no.
Yeah. But the next 5 years, if I'm still here, if I still live in this country, who fucking knows?
Right.
So that's my closing statement.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the show. That's
the show with that existential note.
Thank you all for joining us, though. We always love to have you here. And until next time, I am the Green Traveler from Gorsh.
And I am the Faceless Leon. Safe travels, and good night. Green and Faceless on the Couch is a proud production of FictionWorks 19. Are you a fan of the show? Feel free to contact us at greenandfacelessfans@gmail.com or visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/greenandfaceless. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, or rate us on Apple Podcasts. Thank you so much for listening.